So speaking of Paul is dead, Paul Reubens is dead.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
We lost a good one.
Wait.
Man, that sucks.
Before you say that. So I knew about the whole jerking off in a fucking theater
the
thing.
child pornography?
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. He got, he got charged, but I
Yeah.
didn't see anything about him getting...
Well, it wasn't just him. It was him and another co-star from that.
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
The guy, the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
And he's also
Which
in
I
Deadwood and some
hated
other stuff.
that it was him because I love him in Stay Tuned.
Yeah. Oh, Beetlejuice. He was great too. Yeah.
I
Stay
love-
tuned.
I think he's
Stay Tuned is great.
He's good in
Howard the Duck.
He's good.
Howard
in,
the Duck.
He's good in Beetlejuice, but I think he's way better in Stay Tuned.
Yeah. No, he's great. in
Stay Tuned is one of my favorites for like weird genre movies.
Oh yeah.
It is funny, though, seeing all these people post the stuff about Paul Reubens and how great he was. And honestly, I think he was. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, we talked
yeah.
about it
he had a-
before.
he had a
We've
sordid
talked about it like
history.
3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? That's what we
Yeah.
do. We talk about
We talk
an
about
actor,
people, then they die.
and then they fucking die.
We should
We
just
have a
call
power.
this the reverse seance podcast.
guess
Dude,
so. We
people
just
should
bury
pay us
people.
for hits.
Yeah, right?
Like-
We put them in the ground on this show is
Yeah.
what we do.
So
But
hey,
it
if
sucked-
you
it
have
really
someone
sucked.
you really don't like and you want them to die, just pay us $50,000 for
Actually,
each
people
one.
at work have
and,
actually said that to me.
We'll
They
talk
think
about
that,
them.
I mean, I think that was you.
Yeah.
Because I remember I talked about
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald. The
Yep.
next day he died.
Yep.
No, that day he died.
Yeah.
Because
It wasn't reported until
no,
the next.
Sigletti's fucking got a hold of me, and he's like, "Dude, Norm Macdonald died," because he remembered me talking about it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, the day after it aired,
Yeah.
not the day recorded.
Huh? No, not the day. No, it was on like a Tuesday that he died. So we hadn't even done the show.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it would have.
did the-
Well, it would have aired that day though, Tuesday, but it would
Yes,
have aired
but I-
later in the day.
But I didn't talk about it on
Yeah.
the show. I'm
Oh,
not
I
talking
gotcha,
about it
gotcha.
on the show. I
Yeah.
talked about it somewhere else, and then somebody heard about it and was like, "I'll get a hold of him and let him know that he died." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Because I just gone through a whole phase of watching all of Norm Macdonald's like late night shows or late night talk shows that he was on. Every one of them's gold. They're great.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before about Norm Macdonald. I didn't understand it back when I was younger.
Yeah.
I thought it was this guy's a fucking moron. This is not funny at all. And as I understand a little bit more about Hollywood works and how comedians work together.
yeah,
He's a comics comic.
Yes.
damn right he is.
He was there to make the comics laugh, not so much the audience.
He's like a reverse troll
Yeah.
Yeah.
where he trolls so hard that you don't know if it's real or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if you saw his last special that they.
No, he
his friends
talked
put
about
out.
and
And they had like Chappelle
Wait,
and
okay,
Sandler
that-
and some
that's
other
different.
guys sitting there.
oh yeah, at the very end.
Afterwards. At the very end, yeah.
It was the last show that Norm actually put out. He put it out himself.
Yes, he
it
did.
didn't get fucking put out until after.
No,
his death.
his friends put it out.
Yeah, but he recorded
afterward.
it during COVID and did it with no audience.
Right.
Just him sitting on
Yeah.
like a Zoom call or
And
some shit.
it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
And then of course they talked about it, and they were just talking about how amazing he was and like how like what we were talking about here about him being a comics comic
Yeah.
and all this, and they were
Yeah.
just talking about all these things that he had done and how he would just all the comics in the room would be on the floor
Yes.
laughing, you know.
Knowing that he's also bombing at the same time.
Yes.
And knowing that that was one thing that Norm loved was bombing. He actually loved it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, most
Well, that's the whole thing. I didn't get it, and that's
Yeah.
God, this guy fucking sucks.
Well, one of the things he would
He's
do.
not funny.
So
And-
I guess one of the things he would do at shows is if he did really well, he would just leave at the very end, right? No meet and greet, nothing like that. If he bombed, he would go to the door as people were leaving and be like, "Thank you for the show." Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like thanking everyone for showing up after they're probably fucking furious. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's
It is
brilliant.
great. It's like
That's
adding
my-
insult to
that's my
injury.
style of humor right there.
But that's the thing. It is weird that yes, your humor is somewhat similar to that
Yeah.
in a sense. That it is
Kill 'em with
weird.
kindness
It
is
is
what I'm
weird
all
that
about.
you would. Well, that's the other thing. He was a polite guy, but he
Sure.
would say things like to make himself either look super autistic, like he doesn't know you can't say that in front of people. You know what I mean? And I know this. You'll do the same thing at times.
Yeah.
Where you'll just be like, "Yeah, I'll say this," and then, but it's close enough to what you can say that they could be like, "Oh, maybe you just screwed up."
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
It
I
was
mean?
just a
And
mistake.
that's what I liked about it. Like I loved it when he did on The View. He's like talking. I think Star Jones brought up a picture of him like shaking President Bush's hand before President Bush was was
Right.
the president. And she's like, "So what's this all about?" And he's like, "Well, I can't shake someone's hand." He's like, well, I think we just need to get somebody in the White House that's not a murderer. And, and he said it on The View, and they're like, what? What do you mean? Oh, you know how you killed Vince Foster?
Oh, my God.
I said it on The View.
Oh, my God. Well, there was...
And then he kept saying it because Barbara Walters was like, "No, that's not nonsense." He's like, "Nonsense? I mean, like, it's obvious." It's like, and he just kept going. And she's like, "You can't say that." Like, what? That he's a murderer? Knowing that, just doing that thing where he's like, "I'm just asking a question."
What's wrong with the question?
Yeah, that's what I loved about him. Like, he knew the line, and he stayed at that line as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And the weird,
there's something similar. A long time ago at the reservation where I worked at a Pizza Hut, a customer came in pissed off about being said one of my drivers said there's a lot of res out today, which is a slang for and I played it off like I didn't understand what that meant the whole time.
Should have been like,
it's like I don't understand what
where's
does
the
that
dispenser?
Mean? Yeah, she's like he said there's a lot of res out. And I'm like,
you got it.
What does that mean? A lot of res. What is that? I mean, I knew exactly what it meant.
Yeah.
I kept going on. She's like, so was there a lot of res out? I don't understand. So he was just commenting on how there were a lot of people from the reservation out. Mm-hmm. Well, yes, but you can't say that. I'm like, oh, well.
Oh, but you can say it the other way to make yourself disguised racist? What? I don't get that.
That's what I...
Soften
essentially
the
pointing
out
that she's the racist for being offended by it in a roundabout kind of way.
That's fun to do.
Yeah, it really is. Or confusing the hell out of them and saying a sentence that doesn't make any sense at all to see if they catch it. Yeah. Especially when you're in a long conversation. It's like, well, I know. You put it in the outlet. It's all bananas, right?
Well, this is one of the reasons why I like it when people, you know how when you say, "How you doing?" The correct response is, "All right, how are you?"
Yeah.
Or "Good, how are you?"
I'm doing well.
Right? So my favorite thing to do is to go into how my day's gone.
Like, well, my wife left
detail.
me. And,
in detail. It's like, so I woke up at 4:15 and I got up. I took a piss and then I went back and laid down for a bit. Checked Facebook and so I get it every fucking
yeah.
And they're just like, uh-huh.
Oh.
And I'm like,
their eyes start to
was
glaze
it a
over.
mistake to talk to me?
That's that Bill Murray thing. Is what he did on Groundhog Day. Did you really want to know about the weather, or were you just making small talk?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I hate small talk. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because I hate it so much. I hate the whole, you say something and I'm supposed to come back with like, how are the kids?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how the
I'm getting
kids
to
are.
that point more and more as well. But I mean, I get cordial interactions, especially with strangers. There's that.
I try to be polite.
That's what I mean. I'm not a dick about it, but
I'm
doing well, thank you.
I remember one lady a long time ago was like, "Wow, you're really nice." I'm like, "There's a difference. I'm not nice. I'm very polite.
Yeah.
I'll be polite to you. I'll say please, thank you. I'll There's about it. That's all I do. But I try to be as polite as possible to people. But once I get to know somebody, I'm like, I can just talk however I want. Right?
Yeah, so I got this growth on my ass.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor to have a look at this growth on my ass. And yeah.
Kevin, this might be a conversation that you want to have with the doctor.
I already did.
Not us.
That's what I'm telling you about it.
Oh, don't tell us about
No,
it.
that's an old folk conversation right there.
Yeah, they
That's
always
when you-
talk about all their
You talk to your parents. And
all
start
the health
going,
problems they
carrying on
got.
about their ailments. That's pretty much all. Well, your father's in the hospital again.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here we go.